What's up everybody, it's Nova here, and we're back with a new Let's Play today. Thanks to the recommendation of my friend Michael, we will be starting a Hearthstone series in which I take one of my decks to climb ladder. Today I will be taking my Jade Yogg-Saron Tempo deck. The goal of this deck is, like any Yogg-Saron deck, to try and get him out there. Could probably use some work. If any of you have tips, they'd be greatly appreciated. But with this deck, it mostly revolves around throwing out your Jade Idol, either summoning them whenever the situation arrives, or actually trying to shuffle the copies into your deck to have more Jade Idols to throw out there later. With things like Feral Rage and your Wraths, even your Raven Idols, swipes, stuff like that, you can kind of stall with it. Nourish, depending on whether you need the mana or the actual card draw to get out there, those really help. But yeah, that's my Jade Yogg-Saron Tempo deck, and let's actually try and see how far we can take it into ladder. Right now I am currently ranked 20, so I'm not that far up, but hopefully we can actually score some stuff. Score some wins, I mean. But yeah, how's everybody doing for their holidays? Let me know in the comments whether or not you're having a good one or having a bad one, and why. I'd love to hear from you guys, and like I said, any feedback about any of the series that I'm doing and whatnot is greatly appreciated. We're up against a mage. This hand seems pretty decent for a start. Since we have 2 Jade Idol, I could Raven Idol coin Jade Idol and actually have a 1/1 out on the board first turn. I don't like seeing Prince Malchezaar though, so that's not a very good thing for me. But you never know what may happen. I thought they were AFK for a second. Babbling Book. So I think I am going to go through with that Raven Idol coin Jade Idol. Hopefully we get a good value here. Probably going to go with the Starfire because I really want removal in this game, especially if he has 5 extra legendaries that I've got to deal with somehow. Regardless, I don't know what legendaries it actually put into his deck, but of course mostly any legendary is going to be a problem. He wasted his mana this turn to actually get out that Jade Golem. I am going to Wrath that book. And I got my Bran. I'll probably Living Roots and Jade Idol next turn instead of putting the Bran out, because Bran isn't necessarily that needed in this deck. It's just good to have for certain battle cries, like you know, Jade Spirit and Azure Drake are the only 2 in the deck I know of other than Yogg-Saron that actually have their battle cries. But if you get Yogg-Saron up there in his spellcast, you don't even need Bran to actually do his job anyways. But we're going to shuffle 3 copies into my deck and then get 2 1/1 saplings out. That way I actually have some small amount of board presence. Let's see what he does here. Seems like he can't make up his mind. But yeah, I maybe forgot to say this, or if any of you haven't watched my return video, I'm glad to be back. I'm a lot better at editing videos now and actually recording good content for you guys, and I'm ready to get into it. He put a secret out, so I'm kind of concerned as to what that may be. It's not a duplicate. It may be, can't remember the name of it. Ice Block, maybe? The one that prevents fatal damage and makes your hero immune for the turn? I really don't know what else it could be, because it's not Ice Armor. We're going to go ahead and draw 3 this turn. Go straight for face. That 2/4 is not a problem to me. I need to catch up in hero damage right here. Now I could brand next turn and send out a Jade Spirit for it to summon 2 Jade Golem. That doesn't seem like a bad option. He wasted 4 mana on a card draw, and he's going to hero power one of my saplings. Okay, so now we're gonna throw out Bran and get 2 Jade Golems out of this Jade Spirit. Really good value for what that is, I think. Depending on what he does next turn. I really, in this situation, in this deck, never use Nourish for mana gain. It's mainly all card draw, because most of the stuff as is low cost, or I have a way to gain mana crystals as is with like Jade Blossoms, which also summon a Jade Golem, so their value is also good. He already took out the Bran Bronzebeard, but really I don't get the theme of his deck other than card draw. I don't necessarily know what he's trying to draw into, but none of it really seems all that good. I'm gonna go ahead and swipe, and then throw out another Jade Spirit, and we're just gonna go for face again. It's really not that much of a concern to me to actually worry about a Gnomish Inventor, especially if it's only a 2/1, because at this point he'll just suicide it into anything he throws it at. Polymorph isn't a bad option here. I mean, I think at that point I did have lethal. Depending on what he does here, I may still have lethal. That taunt will be quite a problem, but I may be able to work through it with a Starfire. So if I go ahead and Starfire this, that's kind of problematic. So we're going to go ahead and just get that taunt out of the way, because I don't want to deal with it later. We're gonna put 2 Jade Idols out, because why not? It gives him something he's gotta like get off the board, or else that's game. Kind of takes his eye away from me for a little bit, even though I really don't see the point of what his deck is supposed to do in the first place. But if it works, I guess. It's got him to rank 21 apparently, so it's got to do something pretty good. That's not that bad, but unfortunately he doesn't have anything that turn to actually target with it, and I'm just going to naturalize it. So, or he can just counter it and get himself killed. That's game 1. Technically in these episodes I'm going to try and do 3 games. That way they're actually a decent length. I completed a quest, that's sweet. I'm trying to save up my gold for one of the adventures so I can actually get some of those cards unlocked. Now, I am going to preface this by saying I do not play Hearthstone that much, so if my plays are cringeworthy or very bad, like I said, any tips are appreciated, and I will gladly try and learn from my mistakes and the tips that you guys give to me. Let's see what we get this time for an opponent. Going up against a mage this time again. Yogg-Saron is not a good thing to have in your hand first. Naturalize would be pretty situational. I think I'm going to get rid of the Jade Spirit for now. I really don't like using Jade Spirits until later in the game when I can actually get the Bran Bronzebeard out. Okay. Drawing that Emperor Thaurissan really didn't help any. But I can't rightly tell what he's got in his hand either. So we're just going to hero power and go for face. Now while Emperor Thaurissan could be good, that's really pointless. I'm just not going to put anything down now. In this point I am going to gain mana crystal, because I really want to try and get that Emperor Thaurissan out as fast as I can to start reducing all the cost of cards in my hand. And if I can get Emperor Thaurissan out next turn while he's only got 4 mana on his next turn, that will be really good. Unless he can instantly polymorph it, which would be kind of a problem. Also kind of frustrating. But I'm gonna go ahead and get Emperor Thaurissan out there. It's not a duplicate. I had to open my mouth. That's definitely not really good. That's definitely getting naturalized. And we're gonna go ahead and shuffle 3 and get card draw. So depending on what he actually plays, we have a taunt if he's actually using things to go for face, but if he's using spells, that's kind of more difficult to do, and it seems like he is trying to go for face using just spells. We're going to actually gonna summon the Jade Golem. Not gonna naturalize because there could be something way more of a threat in his deck that we could use that on. There's our Yogg-Saron. Definitely don't want to use it this early because we can have a lot more value out of it. I tend to use Yogg-Saron if I'm either in a sticky situation or just guaranteed to win and want to get it out of the way in the first place. But he's coining for a 7-drop. And he's casting Inkmaster Salia. I don't know whether to naturalize that Grim Patron or the Inkmaster Salia. We'll go ahead and do this. I really don't want him to start spawning Grim Patrons out the ass, so I'm just going to kind of go ahead and naturalize that. And then we're just going to Hero Power and go for face. Next turn we could Yogg-Saron if we really need to, but I'm at 34 health while he's only at 25. This may be more of a drawn out game than the last one actually was, but, you know, I definitely don't like him having that out at all. If I'm lucky, none of these will kill. But it did. And he's not going to let me get to that Thaurissan. So this may actually be the time when I want to go for Yogg-Saron. Because I really don't want to deal with him getting all of his stuff cheaper through Thaurissan. Just gotta wait for the RNG to take hold. That's really good, though. That is also really good. We're gonna go ahead and get that 8-5 out of the way. Sometimes, most of the times with my Yogg-Saron plays, they always go wrong somehow or another. But this one seemed to turn out pretty decent other than me getting, like, crackled in the face. Just gonna go ahead and get all this stuff out there. See what our draw is. Swipe could be really good if the situation arises for us to have to actually clear board again. I'm going to save this Innervate for when I really need it. I'm not going to use it to generate excess mana because there's no point. Played another secret. Played 2 secrets. I'm guessing this is a secret mage. Yep. Or Cthulhu somehow. At some point I'm just going to outscale him because of Jade. Because of Jade Druids. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that out. That's not very good. Duplicates are always the most annoying thing in this game. especially if they're late game and they actually put a good drop. Oh, yay. I could still possibly work through this unless this rag actually manages to hit my iron bark. Of course. Pretty sure that's going to be game 2, so I don't even want to go ahead and deal with it. Go ahead and try getting out game 3. It's really annoying how people kind of just stuff legendaries in their deck and expect everything to work out fine. Because that is the second deck that we've seen that had legendaries, if not a legendary, stuffed into it just to see if it'll make it better. That first one, it really didn't even have any effect whatsoever. The second one apparently got lucky into a rag, so taking 8 damage from that itself a turn, it's not very good. Getting this Iron Bark Protector first turn is not going to be that good either, especially since I don't have coin. I can't even do anything until next turn, but then I'll start getting pretty decent mana gain from the Wild Growth and Jade Blossom. Sorry about that. Kind of woke up early this morning from a very important phone call. Zealous Initiate, so it's probably... I don't know exactly what this deck could be, but we're going to go ahead and Wild Growth. And the next turn we can Jade Idol and Jade Blossom if we want to, and we'll be at 6 mana the turn after that, which would be really good considering he's only going to be at maybe 4, depending on what he does. And nothing in a Warrior's deck is actually going to make him, you know, lose mana crystals. I'm going to go ahead and get both golems because of his board state. Zealous Initiative, does it give 1/1 on field, or... Yeah, so if we kill the alpha first, well, we were going to. Necessarily don't like people sitting behind taunt walls all game either. It's definitely not fun. I'm not gonna sit there and take 5 to the face through attacking. I'll just let him do it himself. Yep, it's just gonna be taunts everywhere, because that's anybody at this low a ladder can even make. How wonderful. Sorry if I seem to be getting a little frustrated here. This is just really annoying for me. Because it's just a low-level player that is going to be sitting behind taunt walls all game. And I have none of my removal early. If I actually had removal and could get some tempo going. Like I said, it's just a taunt deck, especially if he's using King's Defender. That gives me all the more reason to assume that it's actually just revolved around taunts. Which is very frustrating to me. Definitely going to go ahead and swipe because I don't want to deal with any of that at all. We don't have anything right now for Bran to benefit from, to benefit from Bran, but we're going to go ahead and get him out there just because I want something on board. I don't care whether or not he actually attacks it. It gets him off my back for a turn because everybody doesn't like seeing a Bran. They think it's too much of a threat. Which in certain situations it definitely can be, but course, he's also just got random legendary stuffed into his taunt deck. And he's gonna hit me for face. If I get something with Battlecry this turn, things are gonna start swinging in my favor. Like that. That is a perfect example. He can keep trying to go for face all he wants. He's gonna start losing the DPS race if he doesn't throw something out that can actually take down those Jade Golems. Next turn I'll probably Iron Bark, because that taunt is going to be really useful if he can't actually go for face like he's supposed to as a warrior. Just gotta wait and see what he actually does. What we draw can also influence what we do, of course, but I really think the play here will be Iron Bark because I'm only sitting at 12 HP. He's getting rid of the 5/5. She wasted quite a few cards to get, like, actually to get through it, but he's still trying to go for phase, which is a really stupid idea. I'm gonna go ahead and discover just in case, because I still have mana for my Iron Bark. Oh. We're gonna go ahead and do that because I really don't like that being out there, because he'll probably have some way in hand to actually enrage it himself. So better to get it out now than to actually sit there and have to deal with it enraged later, which would probably swing for game.
Do you hear its call?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell this deck is. Especially if he doesn't even have a Cthulhu. Now he's just gonna try and throw it. And that's game 3. That is precisely why you don't stuff random stuff into your deck. It seemed like it had a general theme in the first place, but actually didn't. But guys, that's gonna do it for the first episode of our Hearthstone ranked climb. Wish we would have won all 3, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But yeah, like I said twice in this video already, if you have any tips or comments, feedback, please don't feel shy. Go ahead and write it down in the comments. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you disliked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. If you like seeing my content, there's a lot of other stuff on the channel. Go ahead and give it a subscribe button if you feel like it. I'd really appreciate it. This is Nova. Peacing out. Later, guys.